everybody. So today I am here with another national monthly market report, giving you some great information about today's housing market. You know, usually in September or around this time, we see the market kind of beginning to slow down, and maybe that happened for just a brief pause, but we are seeing more homes coming on the market now. And you know, it's just amazing, this market today, and with prices appreciating and with more inventory coming on the market and buyers still out here. So I want to give you some great information about this month's market and how our housing market is doing. So please stay tuned. Okay guys, we're going to get into some great information about our housing market. A lot of people want to know what is going on in today's housing market. What is the market showing us? Are we still in the seller's market? So we're going to get into some great information for you so you can know for yourself. So let's get right into it, and let's look at our first slide here. And it shows us pending home sales since 2012. All right, so you can see that from January 2012 all the way up until now, the pending home sales, and you can see from that last peak point, it is starting to move downward, indicated by that red arrow there. So pending home sales are down right now. They are going down nationally. And we can also see where our historically healthy level is. So although it is on a slight decline, we are still above the historically healthy level. So it'll be interesting to keep watching to see what happens with pending home sales. Okay, so when we look at the next slide here, we are going to see what the expert is saying, Mr. Odetta Kushi. Odetta Kushi is a deputy chief economist, First American. So what he says here is, we are seeing some signs of softening in the housing market, but context is important here. We're still very much in a seller's market, but we are seeing some early signs of softening. So some people may wonder, well, what do you mean by softening of the market? So when we say softening, just like, okay, when you remember back in June, July, around that time, we were seeing like a frenzy in the market, like where as soon as the home comes to market, it's gone off the market. Prices, offers being put in way over the asking price. There was just a complete like mayhem going on in the marketplace. Okay, well now, you know, with the softening, when you say softening, you don't see that quite like that frenzy anymore. And you begin to look at homes when what they close at. So when a home closes, we look at, is it still closing over that asking price or over that list price? Or are we seeing it being offered at the list price? Or is it still offered below the list price? So looking at things like that, like sale to list price ratios, where you may get offers that are in those low 90s to even in the 80s, that can show signs of a softening market, because in the frenzy of the market, we were seeing it way over 100% of the asking price and being offered well over asking price. And now, you know, in the softening, you may see it being offered maybe at 92% and then high 80s%. Also, with a softening market, you guys, you may see price reductions where the seller was trying to get so much for their home because of the frenzy in the market, because of buyer demand. Maybe they thought, or maybe they had a real estate agent that priced them over what they probably should have been priced at. But you will see some price reductions, or even that they realize now that this is not the market that it was, that it is beginning to softening, and now they're starting to try to what we call like chase the market, and now they have to reduce their price. So now you may see that those homes are having price reductions. Okay, and then another thing you want to also watch is things like days on market. So when we were in the heightened period of the market, you would see homes be off the market as soon as they hit the market, or you know, definitely within a week or within days and minutes, it would be off the market. But in a softening market, you don't see homes being off the market so fast. So the days on market are longer. So there are different factors, these and others, that go along with softening of the market, including things like looking at the showings that are happening and so forth. That's the whole story with, we're also watching with the big C and everything that's happening there. So some people may still have some hesitation. I don't know. There's different factors, but those are some things that we could see in a softening market. Okay, so let's get into our next slide here. And I want to show you showing times monthly index. Okay, so here we are seeing the showing time. That's exactly what I was saying about when you're seeing people are going out looking at homes, the showings. So here we see back in January of 2020 where we were then versus this graph shows you up to July and where the showing time monthly index was then. What you could see was still above the time that it was in July of 2019, which was 123. And you may say, why are we looking at 2019? Well, because we can't really compare fairly, or however you want to say, to 2020 because it was such not a normal year, right? So we want to go back to when it was kind of like, okay, things were not crazy with the big C and everything going on. Now we can look at something and compare it to that was more apt to compare it to, not that apple orange kind of thing where you had two different situations going on. 2020 was a year like no other, right? So we don't compare it to that year. We want to look at 2019 and keep things within the right context and looking at the right comparisons. So showings are still up compared to that time, if you want to say normal type market in 2019. Okay, so that's an important thing to look at when we talk about softening. Is it softening of the market? Okay, let's look at this slide here, which shows us Ojo Labs. This is a real estate technology firm, and their statement here says, the U.S. housing market continues to be ultra competitive even as new COVID cases surge, but new data shows the level of competition and ensuing price increases may be cooling off just slightly. Data shows that 49.6% of homes sold for more than the initial list price in July, far ahead of the number reported in 2020, when 26.8% of homes were sold above initial asking price, but below June's total 50.4% of homes that sold for more than initially listed. So that's what our Ojo Labs technology firm is showing us. And in order to break this down a little bit more, we want to show you another slide here. Okay, so we're going to look at this slide to give you a little bit better understanding of what that all means. So here it says percentage of homes selling over list price. So when you look at July of 2020, we saw about 26.8% nationally selling over the listing price versus June of 2021, there were 50.4% that sold over the listing price. That's around that time with all that frenzy of everything going on in the market. Well, now toward the data that showed us from July of 2021, we saw 49.6% of homes selling over the listing price. So it's down slightly from June of 2021. So that's a little bit something to watch when we start to see stuff like that going on, the little decline. We want to be paying attention to that. But of course, 49.6% selling over listing price is still a great number. Okay, so, but it is something to watch and be mindful of to see the trends of the market. Okay, so next slide we're going to look at here is the new monthly listing counts. And we're going to look back from 2017 to 2021. This is in an effort to gauge kind of where the market is and where the market is going. But you're looking back to see, to look at these trends. So we look at this graph here, new monthly listing counts, 2017 to 2021. And we can see here where the different years, so you can see the different color codes there. But 2021 is in green, and there you see 2020 in orange. And of course, we know in 2020, we had that dip in the market where sellers began to pull their homes off the market. So we see that dip in the market. And then we look at 2021, we are, coming up there from the April, May, June, July time. And now you see kind of like a leveling off a little bit, but maybe like it's going to go down. So we're kind of watching to see what will happen there, because now it seems like more listings are coming on the market. And usually in the fall time, you don't see the listings coming on the market like that. Usually that happens in the spring, but we are seeing listings starting to come on the market. So this is something to watch, because you want to know, where is that going to go? Are we going to kind of fall in line with the 2021 and kind of level a little bit and then go down, or what's going to happen here with this trend here of new listings coming on the market? And the reason why that is also very important to watch with new listings is because that's going to tell us a lot about price appreciation. Of course, if we have more listings on the market, we can expect that price appreciation to kind of, not be as robust or strong as it's been. And then if we see less listings on the market, we definitely can expect the prices to continue to be strong, right? And we'll see later what the experts are even predicting for the housing market of 2022. So stay tuned for that one. Okay, so now we're going to look at an expert comment here from Mr. Daniel Hale. And you can see what he's saying. He's the chief economist for Realtor.com. And Mr. Hale says, if these changing inventory dynamics continue, we could see a wave of real estate activity heading into the latter part of the year. He said a wave of real estate activity heading into the latter part of the year. So again, where we usually may not see as many homes in a typical type market coming on the market in the fall, this fall we may see more and more listings. And I can tell you, I get so many notifications with more homes just popping up on the market, more homes on the market, which is a great thing. But we are seeing that continued steady increase, whereas maybe back in 2019 or different years before the pandemic, we may not have seen as many in the fall, but it's we are showing that it is increasing. Okay, so now let's talk about affordability for just a minute. So let's get into affordability. Let's look at this slide here. Monthly mortgage payment increasing significantly. So I'm going to go through these a little bit faster. But these monthly mortgage payments are increasing. What does that have to do with? Of course, price appreciation, right? Homes are, on the market selling for more. Their prices are more now. You're going to pay more for a home now than maybe times past, of course. So that goes right into that monthly mortgage payment increasing significantly. So again, affordability continues to decrease because of the price appreciation. You look back in January, you see the higher the bar means the more affordable that the homes were. And if you look down toward June, you can see that the homes have become less affordable due to the price appreciation. And then with some sellers thinking they can just put their home on the market for anything, let me tell you, get you a good real estate agent and know what the market is showing you and can be honest and truthful with you. Because if you have to get to point A or B in another state and you have your home overpriced, it's going to take you longer to get it sold. You're going to go through different price reductions when you can just start off the right way and just, it may be like something you really want in the price of your home, but you have to fall in line with the market and you have to get past those appraisals. So you want to make sure that you are educated and know about what your home could sell for and the price that it is gonna sell for, and the price that may get you multiple offers to get you a higher price. But you don't want to start by, you got to go through several price reductions and chasing the market. So that's something to be very aware of. So okay, let's get into this one. Housing affordability. Let's look at this slide here. Index 1992 today. You can see again, I think I showed this slide before in other market reports. But the housing affordability, you can see the area in the orange where there was years when distressed properties dominated the market. You can see where we are right around today. with housing affordability. And then houses are still more affordable than those months that led up to that housing crisis time period. So if you're looking at, before like the time period in the orange there, you can see that we are still above that, which or above that time, we are more affordable today than we were in the years leading up to the housing crisis. Okay, so that's what I wanted to let you know. Okay, now median asking rent. Now we all know rent has been going up. And so no new news there. It's still going up. Okay, next slide. Percentage of income needed for a mortgage payment increasing as home prices continue to climb. So, yes, we know that rent is still increasing. And we know that this is a reflection of, rent is still increasing. So that is many renters are concerned because not only is the rent increasing, but then you got housing appreciation, right? So they feel like they cannot afford to buy a home because the prices are so high. So you have to kind of weigh, I guess, the pros and cons and know your own specific situation, but also be aware that when you're paying that high price rent, you're not building equity, not for yourself. You're helping your landlord build some equity, but you're not building it for yourself and to build that long-term wealth that you can probably pass down to children or whatever, but you're not building it for yourself. Whereas if you were in a home, you could build that long-term wealth and build up that equity for yourself, right? And with the forecast that we'll see later, it may be still a good time to get in. If you're able to, depending on your specific situation, know your numbers, work your numbers up for yourself, and see if it makes sense for you to go ahead and get into a home, then keep paying that high price rent and not building any equity. So weigh it out for yourself, right? Okay, so whereas we would say houses are not affordable as they were before, but they are still affordable. Okay, when you look at it in different terms or in different contexts. Okay. So, let's look at this one. So we're saying percentage of income needed for a mortgage payment increasing as home prices continue to climb. So usually, right now they're saying that there is a 17.1% of income that is needed now for a mortgage payment. And they are saying that the historic norm was saying that you would need 21.2% of percentage of your income for a mortgage payment. Okay, so the historic norm is higher than what they are saying right now. Now we will see in the next slide here what NAR is saying and versus Freddie Mac. So Freddie Mac, in their essential guide to creating a home buying budget, it says most lenders agree that you should spend no more than 28% of your gross monthly income on a mortgage payment, including principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. National Association of Realtors, the 25% mortgage payments and income share takes into consideration that a homeowner has other expenses such as property insurance, taxes, utilities, maintenance, so that the total housing expenses are no more than 30% of income. Housing costs are not burdensome if they account for no more than 30% of your income. Okay, so this is what NAR is saying. If we stick around 25%, take into account those extra things such as the utilities and everything, then it's staying under that 30%, you still should be good. It shouldn't be a burdensome thing in making those monthly mortgage payments, okay? And then here, this graph kind of lays it out a little bit more. Mortgage payment as a percentage of income. NAR's guidance, 25%. Historically, they're saying 21.2% historically is what they've been saying. And today's percentage, they're saying 17.1%. Then you should look at as a percentage of your income to pay for a mortgage payment. So basically, they're saying houses are less affordable, but they are not unaffordable. Okay, so real quick, we're going to get into this next little portion of our housing market information, and we're going to talk about the reasons why today's housing market is anything but normal. This is not a normal market. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about our mortgage rates. So looking here at our mortgage rates, we can see what they have been historically mortgage rates by decade. So you can see from 2010s and teens, 4.09. Of course, we know we're like in 2s and 3s now. So we can see that historically we are in a much better place with mortgage rates when you look back toward the 70s and 80s when it's 8.86%. And look at the 1980s where the mortgage rates were 12.7%. So we're in a very much better place with mortgage rates now. The next slide just kind of shows you that from back in what 30 year from back in way back time years ago where it was much higher, and then to where we are today. Okay, so next thing of why today's housing market is anything but normal, we'll talk about home price appreciation, which everybody clearly sees that one, right? Like, because we see the prices are quickly appreciating. So when you look at the annual home price appreciation by calendar year, we can see here that where the average annual appreciation is, which is about 4.14%. And you'll see that part there in the red, which is where we were, during pandemic times and so forth. No, I'm sorry, not during the pandemic times, during the housing crisis time where we had depreciation. But now we'll see where we are as far as home price appreciation being very much increased, but the average annual appreciation is 4.14%. And they're saying that even back in 2019, it was around 3.8%, but now our average appreciation is about 4.14% by calendar year. So, okay, now we keep looking at other things that are making our market not normal. We'll look at months supply of inventory. This is a very important thing to look at because this will tell us like how much inventory we truly have before we just have nothing left. Okay, so when we look at months of inventory, this is what NAR is telling us. Month supply refers to the number of months it would take for the current inventory of homes on the market to sell given the current sales price. Historically, 6 months of supply is associated with moderate price appreciation, and a lower level of month supply tends to push prices up more rapidly. So there again, we're seeing historically 6 months of supply is where we are with moderate price appreciation. But then again, where are we? So when we look at our months of inventory, we can see on this graph here, the months of inventory of homes for sale today. And this is national data. This is from National Association of Realtors. We see we are about at 2.6 months of housing inventory. So again, that slide before it told us that at 6 months, that's where we see moderate kind of price appreciation, or they call it like a normalized type market. But we're at 2.6. And as you can see from that previous slide, that by NAR, a lower level of month supply tends to push prices up more rapidly. So that is definitely what we're seeing, those price appreciating so high because that inventory is just not there. And when we do see, that's why that new listings graph was important, because as we see more listings come on the market, we may not see that robust demand of prices appreciating. So it's something to watch for our trends and seeing where we're going with the housing market, right? Okay, another thing that's why this market is anything but normal is days it takes to sell a home, right? So how long does it take to sell a home? How many days does this house have to be on the market, all right? And that's important for people. People sometimes like, how quick can we get it sold? Because we want to get what we got to get. I mean, you think about it like with all the showings, and if you have children and you got to just clean up every time there's a showing, and you got to pack up, and especially in our market, and you got people coming back to back, it can be overwhelming. So you just, if you don't have to deal with that for a long period of time, then that probably would make you more happier as a seller. One way not to deal with that for a long period of time is price your house right, get it presenting right, have it show well, prepare it well for the market, position it well, so that you don't have to go through that all a long period of time, right? So you are positioned well, you get it on the market, you position it right, people will see it, and boom, you got your house sold. But if you don't do these things right on the front end, then you will have to keep going through all these things with showings. Every showing, you got to go through and clean up and get the kids ready, pack up the dog, get everything else. So it's just something to think about for the sellers out there. Okay, so looking at average days on market, right? Okay, average days on market. So we can see where we were back in March of 19, about 42 days on market, all the way to, let's see, when we looked at in 2020, you can see where we were about around May, June, July, 26, 24 days on market. And then up to July of this year, was at 17 days on market. Kind of been hovering around 17 days on market right now, nationally, for a home being on the market. 17 days is the average days on market. There is a fly. Okay, average days on market. All right, another thing that makes this housing market anything but normal is the number of offers per listing. And isn't that nice if you're a seller? So the number of offers per listing, the average number of offers received on the most recent closed sales that July data showed was 4.5 offers. So that is still really great. To get more than 1 or 2 offers, you get 4.5 offers on your home. So that is what our national data is showing us. So again, it's a great time to sell. If you have to sell your home, the data is showing that it's still a good time to sell, and inventory is needed, and buyers can benefit from that by having more selection to choose from. But then again, sellers, make sure you don't price your home so high that you kind of box yourself out of it because you're overpriced. And remember, you have to get past appraisal, and you also want more buyers to come to your home and not bypass your home. So, all right. So let's look at what the home price forecast is showing us for 2022. Here we see from this data, we see the different experts, the MBA, Freddie Mac, HPES, Fannie Mae, and NAR, the National Association of Realtors. So this is each one of their home price forecasts for 2022, and the average of them all together is showing a 5.5% average of all the forecasts for home price appreciation for 2022, meaning that these experts still expect home prices to appreciate into 2022 in 2022. So for those who are renting, or for those who are saying, well, I'll just wait till the home prices come down, well, according to the experts, home prices will continue to appreciate in 2022. We are seeing an average right now of 5.5%. Don't believe that it's as high as before in earlier in this year, or at the beginning of this year when they were forecasting for this year. But it is still showing us that the home prices are going to continue to appreciate in 2022. So if you're considering waiting until the prices go down, it don't seem like that's going to happen right now. So you still may want to get in so you can build up some more equity in your home and, benefit from those prices appreciating. All right, so yeah, you guys, so let's wrap this up with Mr. George Ratu's statement. And Mr. George Ratu, I don't know if I'm saying that right, is a senior economist at Realtor.com. And he says, I expect an unusually busy fall season. Sellers are putting homes on the market. Normally, this activity happens early in the spring. Again, I expect an unusually busy fall season. Sellers are putting homes on the market. Normally, this activity happens early in the spring. And again, guys, that's what I'm seeing. I am seeing even in our market, which I will be doing the Memphis housing market report as well. But I'm seeing more homes come on the market. Just more and more popping up, which if you are a seller, that's something to consider, because as more come on the market, yours may not stand out as much amongst more inventory. You want to make sure that you are positioned well on the market to get your home sold. So something to think about. And to help you guys out, the fall seller and buyer guides are out. So you can get yours by clicking the link in the description below and get you some great information about the housing market. What is the trend showing us? What information do you need to arm yourself with as you get ready to put your home on the market or even to buy a home? What information would be great for you to know? And just arming yourself with that knowledge as you get ready to do those things for yourself, buy a home or sell a home. And click that link below to get your copy. And I will also put the slides in at the end of this video so that you can see the resources of where this information comes from for yourself. So you know it's not made up. These are real information. So you can go find it for yourself. Okay, so thank you for joining me for this National Housing Market Report. My hair is a hot mess so I decided to wear my blossom hat, throwback, a little nostalgia. But yes, I had to get this information to you, so I wasn't gonna let that hair stop me. Okay, so you guys, I hope you enjoyed this market report. Be well, be safe, stay blessed, and I'll be looking forward to putting out more great information for you. And yeah, you guys, look like the housing market is still going strong. So stay tuned for the Memphis market report if you're in Memphis, and next month's National Housing Market Report. Have a great week, you guys. Bye-bye.